to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to create an Android plugin to upload image to AWS S3 in Godot Game Engine, and I'm using a Node.js backend. So the AWS SDK code is written on my Node.js backend, and inside of my Godot app I will just ask the user for the access permission for his images, and once the user grants the permission I will open the file explorer or the image explorer, pick one image, upload it to S3. S3 will give me a pre-signed URL, and using that pre-signed URL you can display it inside an image view. Now there is a problem with Godot 4.2. As you can notice, as soon as my app is open it asks me for my permission, even though I have not written this code. I am only asking for the permission once the button is clicked. So I think this issue will get resolved in Godot 4.3, but any which ways I will just allow it for now. And it says permission denied. Again, this is a bug from Godot side itself. I have given the permission properly. So now what I will do is I will just click on this upload button. If you have denied the permission, again it will ask the permission once you click on the upload button. So if I click on the upload button, so it opens the image picker, and I can select one image. It will upload to S3 using my Node.js backend. It will give me a pre-signed URL, and you can use that pre-signed URL to display image from an image URL. So let's see how to do this. First I will show you my Node.js backend. So here I have just created a Node.js app. Inside my package.json you can see I'm using client S3, pre-signed URL, .env, express, and express file upload. If you go to index.js, I'm just requiring all these files for now. Okay, creating express app, course handling, referencing my uploads as well as upload route. This is for error handling, starting our server. And if you go to my route of upload, I'm requiring again express. Again, these are all things for uploading to AWS S3. This is for generating pre-signed URL. Then just configuring our S3 client for depending on our bucket name, region, access ID, secret access key. Then I have created one route. Once we get a file from our client, I'm just rearranging the file. I'm just getting the file name as well as the file extension. So this is file name and file extension, and I am attaching a timestamp to it just because every file has a unique file name, and file are not overridden because of it. But if you want, you can avoid this logic as well. Then I'm just creating our params, and here I'm calling the put object command, sending it using the S3 client, and then using the same full name I'm generating a pre-signed URL and sending it back to the app. Okay, so yeah, that's it on the Node.js backend. Coming back to our Godot app, first you will have to create an Android project. It can be an empty views project or a Jetpack Compose project, doesn't really matter. Then you will have to just right click on your module, new, right click on your app, new module, select Android library, give it a name whatever you feel like, change the package name to whatever you feel like, click on finish. I have already created it, so won't create it again. Next, if you see you will have to go to first build.gradle.kts. I have imported Godot 4.2.1. I have also imported retrofit and JSON converter. I also had to import OKHTTP3. I don't know why, because I needed some companion object imports. Like for native Android project I didn't have to import this, but for Godot project I had to. I don't know why, but yeah, once you add this, just click on sync now. Once that is done, I have created a data class, because if you see my Node.js response, I just get a download URL. That's why I have created this. If you see over here, I'm getting a download URL from my backend, right? So I've created the same thing over here, a data class, which is kind of like a Pojo in Java. Next, I have created an app network service as well. So here my the API endpoint is something like this, localhost :3000/upload. So only the end part of upload I have to take it over here. So that's how retrofit works. And the base URL you can just, I will show you where to define the base URL as well. And you will have to add this with @multipart, and I have using a suspending function of upload file, and it will take a multipart file, and this is our download response. Okay. Next, go to create a file called Godot Android plugin, which extends Godot plugin as well as lifecycle owner. We require lifecycle owner because we want to access coroutines. Again, this is boilerplate code for lifecycle owner. I have created a plugin with my plugin as a name. You can name it whatever you like, but do remember this name, because that will be referenced in multiple places. Next, I have created one request code for accessing permission and one for once the user picked an image. So here this is how the permission looks like. So if it is above Android T or above, then you have to request read media images, otherwise read external storage. Then here I am constructing our OK HTTP client. Here I am constructing our retrofit builder. So this is the base URL. So that's how you have to define your base URL. Okay, and this is just for JSON conversion, as well as I have passed our interface of my app network service. Here I have defined one signal. So once we get the URL, we will send it from the Android plugin to the Godot side, and I have created this method. So this will be called from the Godot side. And here firstly, once the button is clicked, we are requesting for permission. If permission is granted, we are creating this intent to pick images, and we are calling start activity for result. If it is denied, just display a toast message. Once the user picks an image, we will get an image URI. Using that image URI, we will actually get that file. So I have created one method for that as well. I will show you that in a bit. But once we get a file, we have to use this as request body as well as to media type or null. So for this, I have to use that companion OK HTTP library which I was talking about. Okay, and this again should be your own thing, like how you are accepting a file on the Node.js backend. So if you see over here, I'm expecting something like this, request.files.file. That's why I'm using over here as well. But again, make sure you use the same thing just to avoid confusion. I'm also passing the file name as well as the file. Then I'm just calling retrofit.upload, and once I get the response, I'm just sending it back to the Godot side. So this is again, this I have just copy pasted it from Stack Overflow. So this is how you get a file from a URI. Okay, so you can just copy paste it for now. Okay, so this method as well as this method. All right, once you do that, you have to go to android manifest.xml, add this 3 permission, as well as you will have to add this application tag. I have just copied it from the docs. You also need to use this, uses clear text traffic if your Node.js backend is hosted locally like mine. Otherwise, don't use it. This should be your package name. If you don't know your package name, go over here. This is your package name, and this is your plugin name. So again, if I go to Android manifest, this should be your plugin name. This should be your package name. All right. Once that is done, go to project drop down. Create a folder called export script template. Inside that, create a file called plugin.cfg. Again, I have copy pasted it from docs. This should be your own plugin name. Change the description and author to whatever you feel like. Next, create a file called export plugin.jd. Again, I have copy pasted it from the docs. Only thing which you will have to change, this should be your own plugin name, as well as you will have to write this bit of extra method for and get Android dependency. So we will require the retrofit dependency, JSON converter, OK HTTP. These all things have been defined in build.gradle, but we also require this coroutines Android as well as this lifecycle owner, because the Android build template does not have this dependency. Maybe in future they might ship that Android build template for Godot, but currently they don't have it. That's why I have to write this. Once that is done, what you will have to do is cd to your Android project, open your terminal, cd to your Android project, and then you will have to run this command. So I'll show you that command as well. So this is the command. Once you run this command, you will just have to go to your library, build, outputs, AR, and here you should see 2 AR files being generated. I have already copied those files to my Godot project. That's why you are not seeing it over here. Next, just create your Godot project. Inside that, create a folder called add-ons. Inside add-ons, create a folder with your plugin name. Inside that, create a bin folder, and inside bin, create 2 folders, debug and release. Now copy the debug AR file to the debug folder, release AR file to the release folder. Once you copy it, you will also have to change the name. So I will show you that name change as well. Bin debug. So here is the AR file for debug mode. So just change the name to whatever is your plugin name -debug.ar. Similarly for release as well, whatever is your plugin name -release.ar. Once you do that, you also need to copy these 2 files. So if you remember, we had created export plugin.jd and plugin.cfg for our Android plugin. Copy those 2 files inside your plugin folder as well. Once you do that, go to project, click on install Android build template. I have already done that. Then click on export, click add Android. Then at the bottom you might be seeing a button called fix import. Just do that. Here you will have to check the use Gradle build option, and here you will check whatever architecture your Android device is running on. If you don't know, check all 4 of these. Once you do that, go to plugin project settings, go to plugins, and make sure you check this checkbox as well. Once you check this checkbox, inside our UI I have just taken a VBox container with a button and a label, and inside I have attached one script to it, and this again should be your plugin name. And inside on ready, I'm just loading our plugin as well as connecting test signal to it. And here this gets called once you send some data from Android plugin to Godot side. So I'm just updating our label, and on button press I'm just calling the upload file method. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.